So Forest are looking at yet another central midfielder, and it's from Serie A again. Welcome to your transfer news. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to your latest Forest transfer news. Coming up, we'll tell you about the latest central midfielder link who I'm kind of like this on, and I'll tell you why in just a second. We've got a departure from Forest that put a massive smile on my face last night. And is Douglas Luiz really got that much of an issue in terms of attitude, or is it coming from somewhere else? If you're enjoying the content, don't forget, hit that like button if you don't mind. Make sure you subscribed as well. And if you want just quick, short, snappy Forest updates where you don't have to hear my annoying voice, make sure you're in the WhatsApp update group. That's a tongue twister. Scan the QR code, click on the link, and it will just give you all the Forest headlines as they come through. Okay, let's jump into the news and let's talk about another Serie A link, and this is Yunus Musah, the 22-year-old American who's playing over at AC Milan, is being heavily linked with Forest in the last 24 hours. We touched on it on Grumpy Old Reds last night. Make sure you've checked that out, and don't forget we've got the watch along as well in a few hours. Now, this guy he's a baller. Right? He's very techie, very skillful, just doesn't have end product for me. I don't even know if that makes sense. I'm trying to think of a player to liken him to. He's somewhere in between an Elliot Anderson. In fact, he's got a lot, for me, similar traits to Elliot Anderson. Very skillful on the ball, can carry it, can almost fumble his way through at times through that middle part of the pitch. But he just hasn't scored goals. I mean, he hasn't scored, I don't think, a single goal for AC Milan, and he's been there since 2023. Yeah, played 59 games, 0 goals. And internationally for the United States, he's played 47 games and scored a goal. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean because you're not scoring goals, you're not helping the team, getting assists and what have you. He's very good at getting out of tight situations in the middle of that park. He's very strong, physical and powerful. I'm kind of convincing myself into him. This is what I would say. He's not a CDM. He's an 8. He's a bona fide 8, maybe even a right winger. He's played out wide for AC Milan quite a few times there as well. He just doesn't over-excite me, but he kind of does because I like techie players. I don't know. I'm like confused on this one. Like, what do you guys say? For those of you who watch Serie A, what do you think of Musah? Would you be interested? Now, why am I bringing this up now? After that scrub Tim Weah rejected Forest, Forest quickly moved and kind of just took a turn, stayed in Italy, had a look around, was like, okay, we've been at Juventus, let's have a look at AC Milan. And he was the one that was instantly linked to Forest after AC Milan. And about, what was it, end of June time, I think it was, there was talks that Forest were going to go straight in for him. This is the guy they wanted to replace the link for Tim Weah. He could, as I mentioned, he can play on the right wing, so he could be used there. And then that link just died down over the last couple of weeks. Now it's coming out that Forest are being extremely linked with him. That's not even a sentence, but very strongly linked with him to the stage where there is belief from Italian sources that there will be a bid for him in the next few days. Now, how much is he worth? In and around 20 million. He's not really in AC Milan's plans for next year, so he is free to go. This one's not a hard deal to get done. There are a couple of other teams linked with him as well. Wolves were heavily linked with him at the time that Forest were looking a few weeks ago, and West Ham just seemed to watch Forest Fan TV. They check who Forest are linked with, and then they just add him onto their list. So he is linked. I'm not against this one. Okay, I kind of think I know what my apprehension is on this. It's two things. My heart is set on Douglas Luiz. And I'm going to lie to you, Douglas Luiz is exactly what we need. I was going to say George Weah. Let's not go back to that player. In terms of Yunus, I think he is a brilliant squad player who can get starts. But we start to pile up these 8s. I hope Forest aren't looking at him as a 6. He's not a 6. My worry is those little niggling rumours about Sangare being open to leaving and stuff start to snowball a little if this one were to happen. If we do get him and we do get Douglas Luiz, then we got Dominguez, somehow Yates is still there, you've got Anderson, Gibbs White, all these midfield players in a formation where you're probably looking at 2 to 3 midfielders starting. But that's not a bad thing, because we've seen reports saying Forest wants squad depth. Forest wants to make sure that they can have impact players coming on from the sub, that when Nuno looks to his left, he sees players that impact the game on the subs bench. When he looks to his right, he can see players that impact it there as well. So here's my stance. I know I'm waffling a little, I apologize, right? But my stance is this. If he is coming to strengthen the squad, I'm fine with it. If he is coming for a tag in, tag out with a Sangare or a Dominguez or whoever it might be, I am not fine with it. I like the idea of having 6 to 7 quality midfielders that Nuno can pick from. Yes, that brings its own headaches, but it's good headaches. I thought we had an absolutely fantastic discussion on it yesterday on Grumpy Old Reds, looking at who the best 3 would be, which combo would work. And I think whatever combo any of the panelists put forward, you could have that argument that there is good grounds to start those 3. The other thing I worry about is we need goals from our midfielders. There hasn't been enough from those central areas. I think Elliot Anderson got 2 goals last season. Sangare, I don't think got any. Dominguez, 1 or 2 off the top of my head. These aren't big numbers. And you're not going to get it just based on track record from Musa either. And that's the worry for me. Whereas you bring in a Douglas Luiz, he finds a way to get into those boxes. Yes, he does score from dead balls, penalties, etc. But goals are goals. So look, that's my thoughts on him. I will take him. I think he's a lovely footballer to watch. That's what I'll say. But is it exactly what we need? Get your thoughts in. Very quickly, for the last time we ever have to speak about this pain in my ass, Matt Turner, who burst so many blood vessels in my neck, in my forehead, and everything with his mistakes. In a bit, Lyon lost their court case. Forest got the 8 million from him, and they've shipped him straight out to the USA. So, in a bit, Turner. Don't want to see you any longer. Let's move on. The last one I want to talk to you guys about is my boy Douglas Luiz. Because a lot of you guys have been talking about his attitude and everything else, and I get that, and I think it's a fair conversation to have. But we've got to look behind the scenes of what's happening. And there are reports coming out to say that it's his agent that is doing a lot of the dark arts, shall we say. Because he's been almost guiding Luiz on where to go. There's rumours that he's the one that told Luiz to go on strike, not to join Juve's camp. There was talks that you got Fenerbahce who were going to make a bid for Luiz, but the agent didn't really want to push it in the direction of Turkey. He would rather Douglas Luiz ends up in the Premier League. So he was putting blockers in there and what have you. So a lot of the stuff you're hearing about Douglas Luiz, I don't think necessarily means it's coming directly out of his mouth. Now, is he letting an agent speak on his behalf? Then he's an idiot for that. But you see footballers doing that all the time. I just think, and yes, I am putting some Douglas Luiz goggles on. I don't care. Call me out in the comments. Do what you got to do. I just think, I don't care. I don't care if he's the biggest asshole on the planet. As long as his feet do the talking on the pitch, bring him. And there is talks that this loan deal could be a 2-year deal with an obligation to buy at the end of it. I don't think I like that as much as a 1-year loan deal, because by the time 2 years are gone, you're now looking at a 29-year-old. Is he worth as much there? He could be worth more. So there's all these kind of things. But the expectation still is that Forest are front runners. A deal is coming soon. Now, don't let freaking Musa be the instead of Douglas Luiz Forest if you're watching this, right? Douglas Luiz is a must, is a necessity, is an essential piece of my master plan for hopefully what we can do on the pitch next season. And if he is plus Musa, cool. And if he is plus Musa, plus Sangare, plus Domingos, even better. But don't let him be, or don't let Musa be instead of him. That's what I'd say. So we'll keep you posted on this. Obviously, we got the watch along coming up in a few hours, so we'll be live for that about 2:45. I think it is Forest versus Birmingham. Obviously, Trevor Francis taking rightfully so the headlines on it all. Make sure you tune in for that. Get your comments on all of this down below. Make sure you've liked. Make sure you've subscribed. Go make sure you're on the WhatsApp group. We'll see you for the watch along. Come on, you Reds.